Nice to have you back. So let's dive into we'll have a look at pathway one of today's of the 12 pathways to higher awareness. To just kick it off, because we were talking about that in the expression. So I'll just share my screen with you. Give me a moment. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Bring this up. Okay, so first pathway. You can read this one, Lynn.
Could you make that bigger for me, please?
Yeah, sure, can do that. Where's the plus sign? Let's plus it there. Okay. Okay. So is that okay?
Yeah, that's better. An addiction is a program or operating instruction to your biocomputer that triggers uncomfortable emotional responses and excites your consciousness if the world does not fit the programmed pattern in your mind. The identifying characteristic of an addiction is that if your desire is not fulfilled, you respond emotionally in a robot-like way and automatically play out a program of anger, worry, anxiety, jealousy, fear, and any of many other negative emotions. That which you emotionally avoid is just as much an addiction as it is something you desire.
Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you get an uncomfortable emotional response, and then you react robotically by going and drinking Diet Coke or
Yeah.
eating some food.
Mm.
And the more you do that, the more you feel the addiction, and the more that the underlying emotional problem is reinforced.
Yeah.
And so it keeps the ego very much intact and strengthens it. So
Mm.
read the first pathway.
I am freeing myself from security, sensation, and power addictions that make me try to forcefully control situations in my life and so destroy my serenity and keep me from loving myself and others.
I mean, make this in the first person. As long as I have addiction. So read it instead of yours, as it says the first person I.
As long as I have addictions, my exquisite biocomputer, my mind, will be dominated by the vain attempt to help me find happiness through manipulating the world around me into fitting my addictions. My mind, dominated by addictions, is not able to tune into the finer vibrations. That's when that's how I first realized that Diet Coke was doing, because I felt like sometimes I would cut off more spiritually when I drank
Hmm.
more of it. I
Hmm.
was not able to tune into the finer vibrations of surrounding people and things, just as a drummer who plays too loudly can keep me from hearing the violins and flutes of a symphony. Addictions are not evil or bad. they just cost me too much in lost perceptiveness, wisdom, effectiveness, and happiness. I've seen it come in. I was saying, even when I was back at Sally's, I said to her, I've got this funny feeling that Diet Coke cuts me off spiritually, which sounds so insane. But now I'm
Mm,
drinking more of it and having the
mm.
repercussions.
Yeah. You see, because it's a strategy to not deal with the underlying emotional problem.
Yeah, because whatever you don't want to feel,
Yeah,
you know,
then you drink something, and that's what an addiction is. Whatever it is, okay.
yeah,
It's not alcohol. Some people then go into, alcohol, drugs, or whatever, but it's the same mechanism.
yeah,
It
exactly the
doesn't matter
same.
what the substance is, it's the same
Yeah, the others
mechanism.
are just stronger, aren't they? Like crack and
Yeah,
stuff like that. It's just like the extreme of
yeah,
a
yeah,
person not wanting to feel any of their,
yeah. So
or
it's
they
more
might have
toxic.
massive pain.
Yeah, it's more toxic, but it's the same mechanism. And that's what needs to be addressed. The addiction doesn't support you or help you in your,
No.
as it says,
Oh no.
perceptiveness, wisdom, effectiveness, and happiness. And the only
It's
way out of the addiction,
avoidance.
yeah, it's avoiding the emotional pain. The only
Yeah.
way out is to say, okay, I accept that. And I have to let go of the addiction. That's the way out of it. By, acknowledging the problem. Okay, I have an addiction. All right. That's why in Alcoholics Anonymous, they say, like, first thing you got to do is admit, I'm an alcoholic. I have a problem.
Yeah.
If I say I don't really have a problem, my drinking's under control, then there's no
You're not going to change it.
healing possible.
Mm.
Because why would you change it? You think it's okay. So you kind of have to say, right now, I want you to say, I am an addict to Diet
I'm an
Coke.
addict. I'm an addict to Diet Coke and
I'm
sugar.
addicted to Diet Coke. Yeah, yeah. And that's like, okay, that's the admission. All right.
Yeah.
So, and you're probably not alone. There's probably many people.
Yeah.
Sugar is a very powerful drug. So it's like, okay, but you're admitting it. Now you can move forward and say, okay, so what can I do about it?
Yeah.
And this is where the healing starts. Okay, so carry on. Read number two.
Addictions always cause unhappiness sooner or later. Preferences never do. When an addiction is not satisfied, am I doing it for me? I'll feel upset
Yeah.
or unhappy.
Hmm.
When an addiction is satisfied, I feel momentary pleasure, relief, or indifference. When a preference is not satisfied, I simply feel indifferent. It was only a preference after all. But when it is satisfied, it adds to the texture and beauty of my life. Yeah.
So it's a vast difference. Like a preference is like, yeah, that's okay. I quite enjoy that. I like dark chocolate, so I might have some dark chocolate. But if I don't have it, it's okay. It's like I
It
have to
doesn't
have it.
affect you.
No, it's like, well, easy come, easy go.
Yeah.
But if you don't have an addiction, then you're like, oh, no, no, I really feel like hardly done by enough. Like, I can feel the lack then. And
Yeah.
that's the way you know. Can I just do without it easily or not? So, trash the Diet Coke, flush it down put it down the sink, and see what happens over the next 24 hours when you don't have it. And that'll tell you how addicted you are to it. Because if you really go, oh, no, like I'm really like getting withdrawal symptoms, I really need my Diet Coke, then you go, okay, well, there's quite a strong addiction.
The first time I gave it up, because I've given it up twice, first time I gave it
Yeah.
up, I got the most, I don't get spots. I've never really gotten, I've been lucky with spots, but
Mm.
got the most massive, big white head on my chin.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Which
it
is
must be a
which is the
detoxing.
toxins coming out. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I stayed at Elaine's, I
Mm.
I didn't like the Diet Coke over there. So I actually stopped
Mm.
drinking it.
Mm.
And
Mm.
I didn't feel any repercussions. That's weird. So I didn't have true
Mm.
um withdrawal symptoms then for whatever
mm,
reason, but
mm,
I didn't.
mm,
But
mm.
I suspect
You might. Yeah. But
this time.
well, but then you then replace it with something else. So go to the shops, get yourself. Have you got a some kind of juicer there? You
No,
know,
I
blender. Have
have at
you got a blender in
Sally's.
the house?
Oh,
Huh?
I did at Sally's, should I say? I don't know if it's still there, I guess. Um, no, I
Is there
haven't.
not a blender in the house? I mean, normally in most kitchens there's some kind
I
of
doubt
blender.
it. I doubt my
Yeah.
mum's got one, but I could possibly get
Okay.
a small one and
Yeah.
take it with
So
me because I'm going to need one wherever I go.
yeah, exactly.
If
So I mean, you
yeah.
can, order these things on Amazon. It'll come in a couple of days, and then you've got like, okay, I can make myself a really like zone friendly power meal anytime. I just need to buy the ingredients. And so instead of the Diet Coke, you have that. So in other words, you're still doing, I think part of it is also the action. Okay, well, I'm sipping something. It comforts me. Okay,
Oh,
I'm still
that's the
doing that, but instead
comfort.
of
Yeah.
exactly, you see, it's they say with
Oh,
smoking, and I've never been a smoker, but apparently it's part of it's like the actual motion of doing it is comforting. It gives you your hands and you something to do. So it's like, okay, so just drink
that's
something
really
else then.
weird. I've never
Yeah.
seen that before. But when you said
Hmm.
it, it took me back to being little.
Yes.
It took so that's an old one there somewhere that I'll have to delve into, I suspect.
Yeah, that maybe it's like, okay, if I'm drinking something, I'm doing something with my hands, it makes me comforted. And then, okay, well, you
Mm.
can do that temporarily. Ultimately, you can wean yourself off that as well. But drink something healthy then instead. Have a green juice. Like you make a big thing of green juice and you just sip on that and you top it up, and that'll keep you going for the day. And that's much healthier. And now you're actually feeding your body something that's nutritious and that's, alkalizing, it's helping it. Whereas Diet Coke has got no nutritional value whatsoever. It's filling your body full of chemicals.
Mm.
Okay. And then just the last one. It's vital that you fully understand.
It is vital that I fully understand that authentic spiritual growth lies solely in reprogramming my automatic emotional programming. It is not necessarily aimed at changing my external actions. I can do anything I prefer as long as I am not addicted to it. It's not the
But you have to be very honest with yourself. It's
uh,
very, oh, no, no, it's fine. I'm not addicted to it.
it's not
The only
always
way to
evident though,
test
is
it,
it straight away? It's not always
no, the only way
evident.
to test it is don't have whatever you think you might be addicted to and see what happens.
Yeah, I can already feel it just at the thought of it, so I know I'm addicted.
Exactly. That's how you know. And
It's
then
like
you got
when
to
you
be
wake up
very
in the morning
honest.
thinking about it, you know it's yeah, you know it's not.
You wake up in the morning thinking about the first glass of Diet Coke. Yeah, I mean, like, come on,
I
that's
do.
not normal, is it? That's like,
No, no,
so then you got to go, okay, there's clearly an addiction there. I can't kid
yeah,
myself. It's not a
no.
preference, it's an addiction.
That has changed.
So,
That's changed over time, but that's where
yeah,
I am now. That's what it's all become
yeah,
very evident, very
yeah.
clear at the moment.
Hmm.
So it's not the external circumstances that constitute my addiction. It is only my inner emotional programming that must be changed. And the wonderful thing is that it is fully within my ability to do so. Whereas up to now, I may have been hopelessly trying to manipulate the outside world to conform to my addiction. Well, I've just kept buying it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we do. Oh, well, I'll just keep, getting the stuff and and making sure that I maintain it, even though it's not good for me. And now your body's giving you the symptoms. Like, hang on, you can't like, and that's good because it's a canary in the coal mine saying, okay, wake up. If this
It's
is happening, it's a
interesting.
sign out of
I've been
alignment.
I've been having it shown to me though because I've been noticing at my different sits
Hmm.
how many how many crushed empty plastic bottles there are in the recycling.
Of Diet Coke. No. And it's
Yeah.
like what? It's like one a day.
Yeah,
Easy.
maybe
One,
more
like
sometimes.
that's
I'm
2 liters a day or something.
yeah, not all the time, but I would say,
Hmm.
yeah,
Two
a lot of
liters a day.
days.
That's a lot of Diet Coke to be
And
drinking.
and
So
hardly drinking anything else.
yeah,
And maybe that's all I'm drinking in the day.
yeah,
So for a
yeah,
while, when I realised how bad it was getting, that I was trying to drink. Well, it sounds silly. I don't know if it worked or not, but I would like nearly fill my glass with ice, so I knew that at least I was getting extra water in when I was drinking it. I do think that is slightly better because that's quite a lot of water
yeah,
actually in with it, but
yeah,
still
yeah.
way too much Diet Coke.
Yeah, well, just cut out the Diet Coke. You don't need it. But
Just
replace it. The key thing is replace it with something else.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so you can still drink something, but just make it a green juice smoothie instead. And then, it's easier to kind of
There's
wean
no
yourself.
water filter here or anything, and I've really struggled with that because obviously Sally's there was always the water filter in the fridge, and
Yeah,
other homes I go to, Mum
yeah,
hasn't got one in the fridge or anything.
yeah.
So
But tap water is a whole lot better than Diet Coke, I can guarantee
yeah,
you.
yeah, I suppose.
It doesn't have any of
Well,
the chemicals, and so just start with that, and then obviously when you get to your next place, maybe they will have one, or you could buy one like portable. There's solutions. Find ways if you really
yeah,
want to find the way.
I can't carry much more than what I'm already carrying. It's killing me. But I
Yeah,
could yeah, I could
yeah.
buy bottled water
Well,
when I go and stay places or something.
you could buy bottled water to do it, yeah, or there's a water filter there or whatever. But that's minor stuff.
Yeah,
The key thing is get off the substance you're
yeah.
addicted to.
Mm.
And so just after this call, flush it all down. Just pour it down the
Oh,
sink and go, okay. Yeah, yeah, but and then what's your reaction? Okay, so as I do that, is there a sense, oh my God, I'm losing, oh, what am I doing? Like, because that's a
a lot
sign,
of
like
it.
I'm addicted. All of it
Yes.
gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then go, okay, so I'm going to stop this and I'm going to watch myself in the next 24 hours and notice what happens. And that'll tell you how addicted you are. And it's not always easy. These emotions aren't comfortable, but then that's what you got to work with. Because now all the stuff that's been suppressed comes up and you got to actually face it.
Oh,
What he's
just
saying
in
here
time for my
is that
birthday.
the root. Yeah. Well, that's the best birthday present you can give yourself, isn't it?
Yeah,
Good health.
healing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And invest in a new life. So okay, it's a rebirth day. To reset myself into a
Yeah.
much healthier pattern because the pattern you're in isn't serving you
No.
anymore.
Because I was
Not
thinking,
that it
oh, what?
really ever did.
Say again, sorry.
It didn't really serve you, but you can get away with it for a while.
Yeah.
But like, okay, so is this just going to become your new normal and you're just going to carry on doing this forever?
Mm,
And their
no.
body's saying, well, you can't. You can't sustain this forever because you'll get sick if you do. So you've got to make some changes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's good. So read the other two. I'll leave you to read on your own. There's
Okay.
some really good stuff in here, but read
Okay.
read the second and third pathway, and just be determined. Not necessarily easy, but just like okay, I need to do this for myself. This is for your higher self and your healing, which is the most important thing.
Hmm.
And then there's the zone diet. So
Okay.
that's this book, Enter the Zone. There's loads. I mean, there's a whole, business around this. A week in the zone. There's loads you can buy, but that was the original, which has all the science and the core like advice on how to do the zone dot. So I'd get that one, read it, and then just apply what he's saying. He gives you various recipes, and he gives you the formula to construct your own meals. That's the key thing.
It's interesting
And
because
as I
when
said,
I
I've
did
been doing.
BLE a few years ago, Bright Line Eating, I just
Mhm.
decided one day. that's it. That's what I'm going to do now, which cuts out all sugar, all processed sugar,
mm,
all
mm,
processed foods, all flour and
mm,
everything. And
mm,
and I did it and lost, I was doing it to lose weight then, and it
mm,
just came off. But I can't get. I, I've tried to get back into that because I thought that would help me get off the sugar.
mm,
Not been able to get back
mm,
into it, so it needs a different approach now.
mm. Yeah, I think you got to let go of it's got to be integral. You got to let go of the mental and emotional stuff.
Yeah,
That's key
yeah.
because that's what triggers masking. Okay, so there's a couple of things you can put out next week sometime. Maybe you can do either so let me know what suits you,
Okay.
and we'll schedule it in. Okay, so let's jump in now to
Can I just have 2 minutes to pop to the loo, please?
teaching today. Yeah, sure. You do that. We'll start. Okay, so Elaine, if you can read this. Let's just
Mm.
make this a bit bigger, I think.
All right, I can see.
Make that a little bit bigger because it's quite small. Okay, you can read the headline quote from Eckhart Tolle today.
Yeah. Almost every ego contains at least an element of what we might call a victim identity. Some people have such a strong victim image of themselves that it becomes the central core of their ego. Resentment and grievances form an essential part of their sense of self. Even if your grievances are completely justified, you have constructed an identity for yourself that is much like a prison whose bars are made of thought forms. See what you're doing to yourself, or rather, what your mind is doing to you. Feel the emotional attachment you have to your victim story and become aware of the compulsion to think or talk about it. Be there as the witnessing presence of your inner state. You don't have to do anything. With awareness comes transformation and freedom.
Great quote by Eckhart.
Mm.
She points out the folly of holding grievances and resenting anyone or anything, because doing this puts you in a mental prison of victimhood and the obsessive compulsive patterns of thought, emotion, and behavior your ego or separate self uses to justify its identity as a victim. So it's, who's imprisoning you? You are. That might play out as, someone or other people apparently oppressing you or attacking you or doing whatever to you. But it's actually your own thoughts and emotions that are doing it to you, because it's your response to them that's the problem. You're tempted to hold a grievance against anyone or anything, and the ego can hold grievances against things like the weather. And read today, stop the ego mind from running away and bring you into an awareness of your innermost thoughts and emotions. And in this state, you're ready to take step 2 of the letting go process that's at the heart of every meditation and breath break you do through the Art of Letting Go program, by choosing to let go of the grievances that you become aware of. So I've given you the 2-step letting go process. Maybe we can just do a little meditation on this, 5-10 minute meditation now to guide you through it. It's really the essence of all of the meditations and breath breaks. There's this 2-step process embedded into all of them. First of all, it's an awareness, and then secondly, a letting a decision to let it go. So there's the 2-step process. I'll just guide you through this. Let's see if Lynn's there with us. Lynn? See if Lynn is back. So let's go to unmute. So we're just going to do a little meditation. So hopefully she'll come back shortly. Let me just get this ready. Back. Okay, cool. So we're just going to do a little two-step letting go meditation.
Okay.
All right. So just making yourself comfortable, sitting in favorite meditation posture. So ideally feet shoulder width apart, your back straight. Cup your hands in your lap, close your eyes. And start off by taking a nice deep breath in through the nose, breathing in. Noticing how the stomach rises and the chest rises and the subtle flow of air in through the nostrils, and clench your sphincter muscle. Also used to contract the flow of urine and squeeze the last drops out. That locks the energy in. It's the root lock in yoga. Locks the energy in, then you draw the energy up the spine into your heart center, and then up into the crown of your head. Just pausing at the top of the inhale. And so you're going to scan your mind for any thoughts and emotions about any situation, and maybe there's a person or people involved that are disturbing your peace. Just be willing to bring it all up, really look at it, be fully present and aware of these thoughts and emotions, but remain quite detached from them to stop them from triggering more negative thoughts and emotions. Now imagine yourself as you breathe in again, being separate from or floating above the thoughts and emotions. It's like the air just raises you up in a balloon, a hot air balloon, and you float above them. As in you're in the sky, it's very quiet, very peaceful. It's what a hot air balloon does. There's no sound. You just float above the thoughts and emotions that you're observing in the person that you normally identify as you. So this person isn't really you. This is really the beginning of the full realization that you'll one day have that you're not really this person at all. Breathe deeply through your nose again. If you find it difficult to clear your mind, you can open your eyes briefly and raise your eyes to the ceiling. Look upwards while you keep your chin parallel to the ground. Notice what happens when you do that. That will help you to clear your mind and remain aware of your thoughts without involving yourself emotionally in them. So you're just aware, you notice thoughts, notice emotions, notice how those emotions show up in the body. So maybe there's an uncomfortable feeling in your body, maybe in your knot in your stomach, tightness in your neck and shoulders, in your chest, maybe the extreme sweaty palms, clenching your jaw, your fists. Just notice all this and breathe into it. Nice deep breath in, and so the first step of this two-step letting go process, you're coming into awareness of what it is you need to let go of. And now, the top of this inhale, just decide that you don't want this painful negative feeling inside of you. Whatever it is that you're facing, you choose that it not be there to disturb your inner peace and cloud the awareness of your true happy self ever again. Now choose to release it by consciously letting go of the effort that it takes to hold on to these thoughts and emotions that make up this feeling. So you exhale, release, just letting it go. It's going, gone. All the lower stomach into the spine. Expel the last remaining air out. And you just rest in this still, calm, quiet, peaceful state of awareness. sense of let go of the darkness and blowing things out with like a black cloud, dark smoke. It's leaving you, it's going, gone. Now you can visualize a white or golden light flowing into you as you inhale. Beautiful golden or white light just flowing into your mind, into your heart. And just bathe in the light for a minute or two. Just enjoy the peaceful sense of relief and freedom that you should feel, having released the toxic thoughts and emotions that are tormenting you, and smile or even laugh out loud as you do this. Reminding yourself that these thoughts and emotions and all their seeming effects were never real. They were just figments of your imagination, seemingly real, but not, based on one tiny mad idea of separation, that you can actually be separate from love and you can actually be a separate person, independent with your own life, your own problems, your own ability to make decisions and mistakes. All of this simply is not true. So just rest here in this deep peace and quiet for a couple of minutes. It helps you can imagine you're in the light, beautiful golden or white light. And just stay in this light for a minute or two. If any negative thoughts come up, same thoughts or something different, anything that's distracting, difficult, breathe in, a nice deep breath in, and say, I am entitled to miracles, or translated language corrections. I'm entitled to miracles or corrections because I am subject to no laws but perfect loves. To repeat these words after me. Breathing in again. So you breathe in, listen, and when I stop, you exhale out through your nose, and then you speak these words as affirmations aloud. Put one hand in your heart center to really connect you with your heart space, and that helps you. So breathing in, say, its laws, perfect love's laws, release me from all grievances and replace them with corrections. And again. And I choose to accept the corrections in place of the grievances. And a sense of, as you exhale, blowing these grievances out like dark clouds, black smoke. So I choose to accept the corrections in place of the grievances. These grievances are only illusions that hide the corrections beyond them. So blow them all away like dark clouds, just leaving you. They're going, gone. All the lower stomach into the spine. Expel the last remaining air out. Now I want to accept only what the laws of perfect love entitle me to have. So I may use these gifts for the function it has given me. I want to accept the healing that comes. So use these special forms. There's still some lingering belief in whatever it is that you have tried to. Is a correction to which I'm entitled. Behind the grievance, behind the addiction, is a correction to which I'm entitled. Say that aloud. Conviction and determination. So let me not hold a grievance against you. And name the person. If there's anyone against whom you're holding a grievance. Let me not hold a grievance against you, but instead give you the love that belongs to you instead. Exhale on the truth of that. And so perceive truly. To breathe in again. And this gives me the opportunity to make a correction. So whatever the situation is, the difficulty, the challenge, the addiction, gives me the opportunity to correct my mind, to heal my mind. In other words, correction is always healing. If it's truly correct, it must be healing. So they're really talking about the same thing. A miracle is just the process of the correction happening. So breathing in again. Go into the second one of our review lessons today. Consider this and say this again aloud. I let corrections replace, let miracles or corrections replace all my grievances. Breathe in and with firm intent. Remember, grievance could be grief. It doesn't have to be, I'm angry with someone and resentful and all of that. That can happen. Traditionally, we think of a grievance, but I might have a grievance because someone has passed away. They're dead, and then my grievance is that they're not here. and I'm upset because they've died and they're not here. It's a grievance. Clue is actually in the words. Grief and grievance have the same 4 letters to start with. Come from the same root. So I let corrections replace all my grievances. Through this idea, again, repeat after me. Allow it. Through this idea, I unite my awareness with the pure formless awareness of perfect love and perceive them as one. My awareness is pure formless awareness of perfect love. That's the whole point. That's the merging of the Father or the source, pure formless awareness of perfect love, we call it, with the Son, which is my awareness that extends from that source. But I've seemingly disconnected myself from that, and now I live in the illusion that I have another awareness, but that's not true. So through this idea, instead I accept my release from victimhood and suffering. My release from hell, Yeshua puts it in the original version of this lesson. And what is hell? Helpless innovates a little life, which means that you're a victim and you're suffering. So through this idea, say to yourself, through this idea, I express my willingness to let all my illusions be replaced with truth. Say that as you exhale. Express my willingness to let all my illusions be replaced with truth, according to perfect love's plan for my awakening. I will make no exceptions and no substitutes. According to perfect love's plan for my awakening. It's all according to this divine plan for your awakening, and your awakening is part of the whole awakening process of humanity. Breathing in, saying, I will make no exceptions and no substitutes. I will make no exceptions and no substitutes, because I want to experience the state of pure formless awareness. So breathe that state in. Nice deep breath in, invite it in to your mind, into your awareness. Feel it infusing every pore, every cell, every muscle of your body, every part of your mind, every fiber of your being. So I want to experience the state of pure formless awareness. Say that firmly with conviction and intent. Breathing in again. Only this state, as pure formless awareness of perfect love, intends me to do. As it intends me to do, and so it is. So it is said, and so it is done. So to apply this idea to any lingering grievances, just say, keep breathing again. I do not want to hold this grievance apart from my awakening. So look at whatever the grievance is. That's anything that's upsetting you. Whatever's happening in your life that you don't like, that you're resisting. So I do not want to hold this grievance apart from my awakening. Let my grievances be replaced by corrections. And say, address this to someone else. There's a grievance you have towards someone else. Say, let our grievances be replaced by miracles or corrections, and then name the person. Finally, breathing in again, say, beyond this grievance is the correction by which all my grievances are replaced. Beyond this grievance is the correction by which all my grievances are replaced, because it's one problem, remember, and one solution. The problem is separation. You have a grievance because you believe you're a separate self, and that this has really happened to you. That's the one problem. One solution is to let go of the belief that you're a separate self. So do that now. And just breathing in the light of truth, perfect love. Imagine it as a golden or white light, if that helps you, or just a feeling of lightness infusing every pore, your body, every cell, every muscle is in the light. In the light of true awareness. And exhale. Imagine you just letting go of any darkness, maybe a dark cloud or black smoke. You can visualize it leaving you out of your mouth, out of your body, out of your energy system. It's going, gone into the nothingness that it really is. All the lower stomach into the spine. Expel the last remaining air out. And you rest here. In the light. Sink into this grievance-free state, which is the light of truth, of love. Experience the clear, calm, empty, open, spacious awareness of it beyond all your grievances. And this is always available. Just haven't been aware of it. If you're in your grievances, it obscures this awareness. So there's nowhere else to go, and there's nothing else to do, nothing else to think about. And just breathe, relax, be still, and rest in this corrected state, a healed state. So there's nothing you need to, nothing to feel. Just sinking inwards, breathing in and out through your nose. Observe the breath. And go deeper with each breath into this light state. You might visualize light if that helps you. Otherwise, just a feeling lightness, totally free, carefree. David Hoffmeister says clueless, cared for, and carefree. So you just surrender into this clueless, cared for, carefree state. There's nothing you have to think about, nothing you have to work out, nothing you have to do. Just rest in the light. Nothing else to do, nothing else to think about. You just breathe, relax, be still, and surrender this light for a few minutes of deep connected silence. Just give yourself the time to really experience this fully into the light, which is your own true awareness, pure formless awareness, perfect love. It's like the blue sky beyond all the clouds of your dark thoughts, and just free floating in this blue sky awareness, the light of your source. Choose your experience that. Give yourself 2 minutes silence to experience the deep that comes when you drop all your grievances. And then you'll know this is for. When thoughts come up to disturb this deep peace, just remind yourself, I do not want to hold on to this grievance. Beyond this grievance is the correction by which all my grievances are replaced. That doesn't have to take a long time. That can happen right now. Breathe in the light again and just exhale out the darkness of the grievance. It's just a thought, a feeling, an emotion. None of it's really real. It's all false thought and feeling and emotion. So just rest in this graceful state. Nowhere else to go, nothing else to do. Just be in this clear blue sky of your true awareness. Let the light of your source shine through and just enjoy it for the next 2 minutes of deep silence. And so I'm just gently coming back. Coming back into awareness of your body and the breath and the senses and the world. And on the count of 3, you're going to open your eyes. So 1, just breathing in. Noticing how the stomach rises and the chest rises and the subtle flow of air in through the nostrils. Pausing at the top of the inhale. You're going to scan your mind one more time for any grievances. So that can be against people, any kind of negative reaction towards anyone or anything is a grievance. And just let it go. Just drop the grievance like a dark cloud or black smoke, just leaving you. Just going, gone. All those stomach into the spine, expel the last remaining there out. And count to 2, just notice the weight of your body now, pressing down into the chair and your feet touching the ground. Noticing what you're feeling with your hands touching. Maybe there's a subtle taste and smell in your nose. And notice what you are hearing, surrounding environment. Just noticing all these things from this very, very still, calm, and surrendered state. State of mind without illusions, state of mind in which only the truth is true. You're going to anchor the state in. You can use either of today's review ideas to help you do that. You could say, I let corrections replace all others. I'm entitled to miracles or corrections. Just to remind yourself and top yourself up with any of the shorter breath break recordings I've sent you, or one of the longer meditations. So you're going to stay in this grievance-free, corrected state, which is the healed state, the enlightened state, the awakened state, the flow state. It's all the same. The language just describes a state of mind that is free, peaceful, happy, contented in the moment. So you're going to stay anchored in this state for the rest of the afternoon, evening. So it's said and so it is done. And now on the count of 3, you know, open your eyes. So just take a minute to look around. Just observing whatever is going on around you and in the room, but very objectively. There's no need to judge or name or label any of it. You just notice it, and it's very calm, clear awareness. Move on to something else. Look at that for a few seconds. Again, no judgment. You don't have to think about it at all. Don't even have to name it. Notice that the underlying awareness is the same no matter what you're looking at. Then close your eyes briefly. Notice this awareness still very much there. Sometimes easier to become aware of it when your eyes are closed, but then you open your eyes again, look around, you notice the same awareness there. The visual sense doesn't really disturb that awareness. And this is your fundamental awareness. This is your source. This is your true self that you're becoming aware of, and then able to stay in that awareness, no matter what seems to happen on the level of form, no matter what the sense perceptions are showing you. This awareness underlies them. This is why it's been called the ground of being by some philosophers. And this is the beingness, the true awareness that you want to rest in. So you keep coming back to that awareness. You can still think and speak and act, but you rest in this awareness. It's very peaceful, calm awareness. I rest in God, lesson 109 of the course. I rest in this awareness is what it's saying. So just set the intention to stay in this awareness, and you're going to use the lesson to keep you in this awareness. That's what the short practice periods and the breath breaks that I've recorded to help you do those practice periods are about. Help you stay in this awareness no matter what seems to happen, and potentially tempt you to go out of this awareness. So you stay in this awareness for the rest of the afternoon and evening. And so it is said, and so it is done. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the meditation. Longish one today because we did the two-step as part of it. So I think let's just, we've got time just to read the lesson. So let's go into that. We can read, so just a review lesson. So recording going again. Yeah. This is lesson 89 we're on to. I'm entitled to miracles, or in alternative language, corrections is the first one. And I let miracles or corrections replace all my grievances, second one. So Lynn, if you want to read, in fact, let's let Elaine read the first one. The second one would be really appropriate for you. Elaine, if you can read the first one, I'm entitled to miracles.
Original and alternative, or just the alternative?
Yeah, I think so. It's not a lot. It's just one paragraph.
Right.
Let's read it in both.
I am entitled to miracles because I am under no laws but God's. I am entitled to corrections because I am subject to no laws but perfect love's. His laws release me from all grievances and replace them with miracles. Its laws release me from all grievances and replace them with corrections. And I would accept the miracles in place of the grievances, which are but illusions that hide the miracles beyond. And I choose to accept the corrections in place of the grievances, which are only illusions that hide the corrections beyond them. Now I would accept only what the laws of God entitle me to have, that I may use it on behalf of the function He has given me. Now I want to accept only what the laws of perfect love entitle me to have, so that I may use these gifts for the function it has given me. And from the top, I am entitled to corrections. I am entitled to corrections because I am subject to no laws but perfect love's. Its laws release me from all grievances and replace them with corrections. And I choose to accept the corrections in place of the grievances, which are only illusions that hide the corrections beyond them. Now I want to accept only what the law of perfect love entitle me to have, so that I may use these gifts for the function it has given me.
Okay, so what's he saying there? Summary?
Well, we're entitled to these corrections because we're under no law but the perfect love. So while we're under that law, then the miracles will be replaced by grievances. sorry, no, the grievances will be replaced by miracles. So we want to accept this law of the perfect love and receive the gifts for the function it has given us.
Yeah. I'm entitled to. I think it's a very helpful translation of miracles. So miracles sound wonderful, but most people don't understand what they are. It took me about 10 years to really get that, actually, of studying A Course in Miracles, to go, oh, okay, so that's what a miracle is. It's just a correction in my mind, which sometimes has observable effects on the level of form. Sometimes it doesn't. But the primary aspect of the miracle is that it's corrective. There's a change of mind. In other words, I've let go of something that was there, that wasn't serving me, and I've allowed that to be replaced by something else, another awareness. So very simple, really, very straightforward teaching. There's nothing that's complicated about it. Spirituality isn't complicated, actually. It's just letting go of what doesn't serve you, being able to be aware of what doesn't serve you, and then letting it go, and that's the correction. Healing your mind, and you're following a spiritual path. If you keep doing that, it's as simple as that. That's all you have to do. Everything, all the practices and techniques and tools are just designed to help you to let go and make the corrections. So everything fits within this miraculous framework to help you to let go and correct your mind. Whether it's breath work, meditation, changing your diet, fasting, doing whatever the practice is, it's designed to help you to let go of the ego that doesn't serve you and allow your true awareness to replace it. I think that's a very important point to make. That's why it's corrective. All right, so Lynn, if you can, no, in fact, Elaine, you read this, and Lynn to do that. Read the specific applications of this idea in the original and alternative sentence by sentence, kindly.
Behind this is a miracle to which I am entitled. Behind this is a correction to which I am entitled. Let me not hold a grievance against you, Sally, but offer you the miracle. Offer you the miracle that belongs to you instead. Let me not hold a grievance against you, Sally, but give you the love that belongs to you instead. Seen truly, this offers me a miracle. Perceived truly, this gives me the opportunity to make a correction.
And then just read them in the alternative from the top.
I may use these suggestions for specific. Yeah, I may use these suggestions for specific applications of this idea. Behind this is a correction to which I am entitled. Let me not hold a grievance against you, Sally, but give you the love that belongs to you instead. Perceive truly, this gives me the opportunity to make a correction.
If you see your trip in this light, then it's going to go well. It's a great trip. That's what it's for. That's its real purpose.
Yeah.
So make the correction in your own mind so that you give only the love rather than holding any grievance. And that's your only job. Everything else will follow from that. Okay, any thoughts on that?
No, that's
pretty
good.
Simple, straightforward. These teachings are very simple, very straightforward, but that's why they're powerful. Well, okay, that's not rocket science. Anyone can really understand this. It's not complicated. Will you do it, though, is the question. Will you actually apply it? It's not always that easy because we know how sticky one's grievances can be. All right, so let's go into the next one, which addresses grievances directly. So Lynn, if you can read this in the original and the alternative kindly.
Let miracles replace all grievances. By this idea do I unite my will with the Holy Spirit and perceive them as one. By this,
And then read the
oh,
alternative. Yeah.
sorry. I let correction replace all my grievances. Sorry, it's quite small. Through this idea, I unite my awareness with the pure formless awareness of perfect love and perceive them as one. All right. Oh my God. So where am I now? Third, number 3 up there.
Let's make it a bit bigger. There we go.
Okay, thanks. By this idea, do I accept my release from hell? Through this idea, I accept my release from victimhood and suffering. By this idea, do I express my willingness to have all my illusions be replaced with truth? According, oh, it's gone.
Through this idea, express my
Oh, I
willingness.
didn't finish the up one above. Sorry, I yawned. Through this idea, I express my willingness to let all my illusions, can't see anymore, be replaced with truth according to perfect love's plan for my awakening.
Yeah. Number 5.
I would make no exceptions and no substitutes. I can't see number 5 down there. I will make no exceptions and no substitutes. And I want all of heaven and only heaven as God wills me to have. I want to experience the state of pure formless awareness and only this state fully, as pure formless awareness of perfect love intends me to do.
Okay, and from the top in the alternative.
I let corrections replace all my grievances. Through this idea, God, have I got resistance or something? Because I can't stop yawning.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh God, it's so uncomfortable.
There's definitely resistance there. Yeah. So just notice that. Carry on.
Through this idea, I unite my awareness with my pure formless awareness of perfect love and perceive them as one. Through this idea, I accept my release from victimhood and suffering. Sorry. Oh. Through this idea, I express my willingness to let all my illusions be replaced with truth, according to perfect love's plan for my awakening. I will make no exceptions and no substitutes. I want to experience the state of pure formless awareness and only this state fully, as pure formless awareness of perfect love intends me to do.
Yeah, interesting. So you can see the resistance
So strong.
coming
Every time
out.
I open my mouth, I can feel my tongue start curling. That's weird.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah.
Well, it's because it's directly challenging, where you're at. It's saying,
Yeah.
okay, this is a change. By this idea. If you apply this idea, you'll heal. Of course, the ego doesn't want that. So, and not the key points here. Don't make exceptions and don't make substitutes.
Yeah.
I'll have like a little bit less Diet Coke. You're making an exception, aren't you? You're saying I'm creating a substitute. What the Diet Coke is a substitute for heaven. Do you understand that?
Yeah, because it's causing a negative effect. So it's the
just
opposite
something
to
that
pure
covers
formless awareness.
over that state. And you're saying, I prefer the substance in form to the state of pure formless awareness. And every time you do it, you're saying, I'm substituting an illusion for the truth, which is the whole problem. That's
I've
not
even
going to
got
solve the problem.
indigestion.
That is the problem. Well, you've got
I've even got-
indigestion now. And that's just come when you're reading this. Interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just shows you that on a mind level, your ego knows when it's being threatened, because this teaching is going to undo it. And its whole little construct of what it's got you into these unhealthy habits is now threatened. And it's obviously it's going to resist, and it's going to try and do everything it can to keep you in that state. So don't tip the Diet Coke down, drink it instead. You know, this kind of thing. Because you need it, Lynn. No, you can't do without it, because, and it's got all kinds of reasons and justifications. But understand, all of it is just a substitute for heaven. You were saying in that moment, I believe rather in the illusions of the ego that the ego is created to substitute for heaven than heaven itself. And I'm willing to keep honoring those illusions, because then really what I'm saying is I want hell. I want to be in victimhood and suffering rather than go into the state of pure formless awareness. So do you see how profound a choice it is? You make the choice to go and drink another glass of Diet Coke. What are you saying? You're saying, well, I don't want heaven. I don't want to really wake up. I don't want to be healed. I still want to be a victim and I want to suffer. That's what you're saying by your action, you see. But by this idea, if you believe this idea and you act on it without making exceptions and no substitutes, then you're saying, no, actually, I want something else. I'm making a fundamentally different choice here, which will then have effects, because our choice, our true decision is enormously powerful, as Yeshua taught us. The beliefs move mountains. You really change your mind, that changes your world. Puts you in a different state of mind and in a different reality. And that's what, each of these lessons offers you. That's how powerful this course is. Just apply this lesson. I let corrections replace all my grievances. Where does this all originate? It originates in a grievance, because your father died and you now have a grievance over that. Do you see? Grief is just a grievance. It's like, it shouldn't have happened. How could this have happened? Why did it happen? Why did it happen to me? I still want him there. It's a grievance against what is. You're saying it shouldn't be the way it is, but it is the way it is. Do you see? And that grievance is the resistance to what is. And then that causes all the other problems. So it's being willing to look at that and then honestly let it go. Does it serve you to hold that grievance any longer?
No.
How does it serve you in any way? It doesn't really at all, does it?
No, it doesn't.
The grief is just a grievance. It doesn't serve you. It just causes you pain and suffering, causes you to be a victim, causes all these addictions. It then causes you to suffer and sabotages your life. So would your dad want that? No, he wants you to get on with your life and be healthy and happy and functional for the rest of your days. It's just your own mind hanging on to that as a way of maintaining its separate identity. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Because what defines Lynn then is, well, I had a father, as we all do, and now I don't. Now that becomes part of Lynn's story. And the more you think those thoughts and the more you feel the grief, the more that story is perpetuated. But
It's
it's
actually, yeah, it's more about seeing and
an
dying that
illusion.
I'm
You're not learning. You never
yeah,
were learning. You never will be.
yeah. Mm,
And maybe that reminds you, that obviously reminds you of your own mortality,
yeah,
and
I think it
the
did
illusion
that.
of death. Remember, that's the ego's primary wish. It's a death wish. It wants to kill you. So maybe it's made that very, aware. But then, isn't it interesting? By honoring it, you feel the grief. You honor the death wish. What do? You take yourself down that path towards death faster.
Yeah,
Do you see that?
yeah. Mm,
These addictions and toxic habits will ultimately carry on, because that's all the death wish does, is it just creates more death. So you can't honor it. You have to realize that all of that grief is just a grievance, and you're holding that so that you can keep your separate identity, and you can deny the light of who you really are. You're denying pure formless awareness of perfect love, and you're saying, no, I don't actually want that. I prefer the grievance, and I prefer my separate self, and I prefer the addictions, and I prefer the pain and the misery and the suffering of that. That's what you're telling your mind when you continue to believe in these things. And when you say, I let corrections replace all my grievances, and you really mean it, then it's like, okay, I'm done with this. Enough. Enough of the suffering. I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore. Really, I'm willing to let it go then. So are you really willing to let it go?
I am.
Yeah. So, we start now. This session's been huge for you. Okay, you made a decision, willing to let it go, and start taking the actions accordingly. Okay,
When I went
I'll act.
downstairs,
Yeah.
when I popped down to the loo, I said to my mum, I can't drink this Diet Coke. I've realised this morning I've got to stop drinking Diet Coke, and there's like 4 litres that she bought for me, bless her, 2 big
Right.
bottles. And I said,
Right.
Mum, do you know someone else that would want that? Because it's her, she bought it, it's her money. If it was mine, I'll just
Yeah.
tip it away. And
Yeah.
she said, oh, well, oh, yeah, I think I know someone who might have it. So she's going to give it away for me.
Good. Okay. So then great. So you acted on that. So if it's
Already,
there,
yeah.
the problem is your reach. I mean, that's how it works, isn't it? You have
Yeah,
this stuff. It's like too.
yeah,
So you just don't buy it. Don't have it around. And then, over time you'll lessen it. If you stop energizing that, you stop doing it, it lessens. It'll go away.
yeah, yeah,
Might have a few days of withdrawal symptoms, but it'll sit with it and face them directly, and you let them go using these teachings and the meditations and the breath breaks that I give you to apply them. And then you're not running away from them. You're actually facing them and releasing them.
yeah.
Okay, and then just read the specific forms in the original and alternative.
Useful specific forms for applying this idea would be, I would not hold this grievance apart from my salvation. Useful specific forms for applying this idea would be, I do not want to hold this grievance apart from my awakening. Let our grievances be replaced by miracles. Let our grievances be replaced by corrections.
And you said you had one against your sister,
Yeah,
so you can
I
name
was
it.
thinking her then, Dawn. I was thinking Dawn.
Yeah, the no
Let our
grievance be replaced
grievances
by.
be replaced by corrections, Dawn.
Hmm.
Beyond this is the miracle by which all my grievances are replaced. Beyond this grievance is the correction by which all my grievances are replaced.
And then just from the top, read those 3 ideas in sequence in the alternative.
I do not want to hold this grievance apart from my awakening. Let our grievances be replaced by corrections, Dawn. Beyond this grievance is the correction by which all my grievances are replaced.
Hmm. How does that feel when you say that? Say all this.
Calming. Yeah, makes me feel calmer now.
Hmm. So
It's
practice
actually
the
really
lessons and probably not
uncomfortable.
practice every day.
Sorry?
So practice the lessons every day. It's going to help you to let go of whatever's coming up that day.
Hmm.
Yeah, you were saying it's very uncomfortable.
It's very uncomfortable feeling angry at somebody, and I don't want to. It's a horrible
Yeah.
feeling, the worst. And when you're totally aware of it, and you're like, why? Why can I not just let this go? I've just been thinking, well, I just want to let it go.
Mm.
It's
Because it
mad.
makes you separate from her. That's why. You know,
Yeah,
what makes you
very.
separate from her? The grievance. It makes your
Mm,
grievance identifies you as a separate self and her. So it's a primary
yeah,
weapon, ego's defense of its separate identity. You've got to see that. And that's really the only purpose. You hold a grievance, you feel separate from the person you're holding the grievance towards and from everyone. It makes you into a separate self. Because it's my grievance and I have it. No, not everyone shares your grievance. So it
mm,
identifies you as something separate.
yeah. That
That's why
is
it's
literally
difficult to
going
let
on.
go
Yeah,
of.
yeah,
That's why it's difficult to let go of, because you're letting go of your separate identity when you do. But do you really want that kind of identity?
not
It's just
at
saying, did
all.
you really want that? You know, an identity of you're a victim and you constantly got grievances against everyone and everything.
Mm,
And then you can't cope with your grievances, so then you get addicted to substances and various other things, and then your health fails. I mean, like, really? Do you really want all that, or are you just willing to listen and just drop it and let it go and be happy instead?
there are no grievances.
No grievances are justified. It doesn't matter what anyone has said or done. You got to understand that the ego uses the grievance to maintain its existence. That's what it's doing.
Yeah,
If you have one grievance, then you must be separate. That's what it's telling you. So yes, we're saying, well, you've got to drop all of your grievances, because all they do is reinforce the delusion of a separate self. When you drop them all, you realize that you're not separate. You're just this singular awareness we call pure formless awareness of perfect love, as is everyone else. And your grievances just obscured that awareness from your awareness. So it kept you separate from that awareness, which is what the ego does. That's the whole point of its entire insane system, is just to justify the grievances so that you can stay separate in your separate self and never go back to your true awareness. It's mad, really, when you look at it honestly. It's crazy. What an insane system. But that's the truth. That's what it is, and that's what it does. Once you understand that, then you can just realize the insanity of it and stop. This is crazy. It doesn't serve you at all. And then you just have to be very vigilant in that. Go, okay, I'm going to be very aware of my grievances and be very aware of my addictions, very aware of whatever negative thoughts and emotion comes up, because I need to let those go. Instead of honoring them and making them real, and then you go from proceeding from a false premise that I am this. I have a grievance. I'm upset with my sister. I'm grieving at my dad. I now have an addiction to Diet Coke and whatever else and sugar. Instead of identifying with all that, you go saying, no, I'm none of that. None of that applies. Thank you very much. I am pure formless awareness of perfect love, and that's all I want to be. And you make that decision moment by moment when you perceive anything, particularly the things that are triggering you. So you think about your sister. You make a decision in that moment. Do I perceive her with love, or do I hold the grievance? Then you decide who you want to be in that moment. You see how it works.
Yeah.
You go to the fridge, you take a glass of Diet Coke. What are you saying? I want to be this person who has the grief still, and so I'm going to keep drinking the Diet Coke just to cover that over. You're making a choice about who you want to be all the time. This is what Yeshua's teaching us. So who do you want to be? And you make that choice moment by moment by moment. So when you went down the stairs, you said, no, Mum, I don't want the Diet Coke anymore. You made a choice to be someone else, rather than just keep doing the same thing. And that's how profound this teaching is. Every moment of every day, you're making the choice as to who you want to be. And that will determine your state of mind, your peace of mind, your happiness, your whole reality. Your life will be determined by those choices, moment by moment by moment. Can you see why you've got to be disciplined in those choices?
Yeah.
The vigilance that he talks about is the discipline. Okay,
Yeah,
I've
I've
got to
had none.
really,
Yeah.
yeah. And then it goes inevitably pear-shaped. If there's no discipline, then the ego is in charge by definition. Because the ego is chaotic and confused, and it's like, no, just do whatever the impulse is, yeah, whatever. You react to life. Oh, something happens, you get triggered, you respond. There's no discipline of like, hang on, do I really want to do that? Does that serve me? So this discipline to look at your stuff and let it go is the absolute key to spiritual awakening. This is what spiritual practice is all about. And so it's like start to train your mind again. You're on the call, you've done some of this work. You've got to get back into that. Okay, I've got to start strengthening that instead of strengthening the bad habits. I've got to strengthen the good habits. I need to be disciplined. I need to be vigilant. I need to start doing things that support and help me and nurture me rather than things that, are destructive. And how I use my time and my energy and my attention and my money is critical, because I'm making a choice about who I want to be every time I do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you become a little bit stricter with yourself. No, don't take one step down the road of the ego, because you take one step, it wants you to take another one, and then you keep going, don't you? Oh, well, that's okay. And that's how our discipline slides. You've had times when you didn't drink Diet Coke. So what happened? You made a decision one day, it's okay. Oh, it's okay, I'll just have a glass. It's fine. But then your discipline has lapsed, and then it's okay to have another one and another one and another, and so on, until you go, no, it's not okay anymore. I've got to stop, because I'm making a choice in that moment of who I want to be. And I don't want to be a victim. I don't want to be holding grievances. I don't want to suffer and die an early death because I've, totally toxified my body. I don't want to do that. I want to be free, happy, light, spreading the light and the love, and use the rest of my time here well. Use it in service of spirit. That's who I choose to be right now.
Yeah, in not feeling rough.
Yeah, not feeling exactly physically, mentally, unable. Okay, so just got a message. Football is on tonight, so I've got to go in about 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So, shall we wrap it up? Any other comments, Lynn?
No, it's been great. Thank you.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, well done for showing up, and good session. As always, use it as the catalyst for a rebirth. Your birthday is a rebirth day. So okay, it's
is it your birthday today? Happy birthday, Lynn.
It's in a week's time, Elaine. So
a week's time. Still a week,
21
but
again. Yeah.
coming up. So think of it as a rebirth day, and start today. Okay, so I'm going to start correcting. Book a session with me Monday or Tuesday.
Well,
just message me when you're available. generally early afternoon is good, and then I'll just schedule the session accordingly. I've got a coaching with John 1 o'clock on Tuesday, so we could do it after then, potentially at 3 o'clock, and then I could run an evening session.
I'll have a look. I'll check my diary and get one booked in.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you. And
Right.
thank you, Elaine. It's good to see you.
Oh, yeah, you
Good to see you,
too, Lynn.
Jono.
See you soon.
Yeah, we'll do. Thanks a lot, Jono.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Well
everyone.
done. Thanks for joining my time. Yeah.
See you soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Namaste. Bye.
Bye. Namaste.
All right, so that's a wrap for today. Thank you to Lynn and Elaine for joining. Great session as always. If you enjoyed this session, then head over to lifebuild.com. You can see that URL in the background. Lifebuild, just put a .com on that, and you can register to receive a daily Telegram message, which has the daily quote, my thoughts on that, the daily lesson from A Course in Miracles, along with a short meditation or breath break, as I call it, to help you to practice a lesson, sometimes more than one of those. So all freely available, lifebuild.com, and you'll also be able to join the live calls. So the details of every live call, which I do 5 or 6 days a week, are on those Telegram messages, and you can join them. So head over to lifebuild.com, do your thing. And if you're not already a subscriber to the channel and you enjoyed this content, then subscribe and you'll be notified by YouTube whenever I go live, which, as I said, is 5 or 6 days a week, so that you can watch the live stream or the recording. So yeah, hope to connect with you soon. And much the true healed self in me honors and knowledge that same true healed self in you. Wishing